the series that I own. So I own Percy Jackson. So we have the first book, The Lightning Thief, the second book, The Sea of Monsters. I reread this book 2 years ago. Read this book for the first time last year, and then I have not started The Titan's Curse, but I'm gonna start it this year as well. I want to try to aim to read 1 or 2 books of the Percy Jackson series every year moving forward. So we got that. We have The Lost Heroes, which is part of the Heroes of Olympus series. This is book 1 of that. I have The Blood of Olympus. This is book 5 of the Heroes of Olympus like spin-off sequel series. We got The Mark of Athena, book 3 of said same series. The Son of Neptune, which is book 2. And then we have The Battle of Labyrinth, which is book 4 of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, the original one. And then I have another copy of book 1 of The Lost Heroes. So we're going to probably sell one of those. And then I have Magnus Chase, which is another Rick Riordan book. And it's Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. This is book 2 to, I'm assuming, the Magnus Chase series. A friend of mine in high school had this book. This is The Hammer of Thor. And I don't know, gave it to me. So now I have it. And I did read like 3/4 of that book. And I never realized that it was part of a series. And as I was reading it, maybe I was a couple chapters in, I realized like stuff was happening that like I had no knowledge to. But I remember the book was written in a way where I was kind of like, oh, I don't need to read book 1, because a lot of it was like re-explained or just done and written well, that I was still not, I wasn't confused as I read it. But I did not finish the book, so I told myself if I finished book 2, I would never go back and actually read book 1. And that was like sophomore or junior year of high school, and I still have not finished this book because I still never read book 1 of it. Not a series, but I recently went to a movie premiere, if you saw that on my YouTube channel. And I got a free book at the movie premiere, and it was the premiere of Scarpetta, which is a Amazon Prime adapted book TV show. I really liked it. We watched the first 2 or 3 episodes in that movie premiere. Loved it. That's not part of a series though. What else do I have part of the series? I have the Housemaid series. I have the Shadow and Bone trilogy as well. Housemaid trilogy. I'm looking here. And I have a bunch of like, me and my sister, we have all of our children's books from when we were kids. And so we have like Ever After High, Monster High, a lot of like Louis Satcher books, Roald Dahl books, stuff like that, Babysitter Club, so all of that, American Girl. We have the series of those as well. We have a lot of duplicate copies, so you saw The Lost Hero, so one of that has to go. My sister owns 2 of The Bluest Eye. We both own 1984 books as well. She owns 2 1984 books, and I also own a 1984 book, so I might like sell my copy because like she already has those books as well. So we have duplicates. All of that will get unhauled. I really do like my cover of 1984 over hers, but she also has 2 of those, so whatever. I think that's it. All right, I'm gonna stop talking, continue. I'll get back with you. I just really need the fan up here because I'm sweating fucking buckets. All right, so this is where my mindset is right now. This is all my Percy Jackson plus the Magnus Chase singular book. So the Rick Riordan thing, that's just gonna stay the same way, but obviously when I put it back up, it's gonna be in its correct order. This is I don't even know, actually this is wrong. These are books I haven't read that I want to pick up soon, but actually minus Life of Pi, I did watch the movie, so I'm not putting this in my like immediate next read, so that's gonna go over here. I actually read Where Are the Children, so that should be put in my pile of books I already read, so I can like put those in the back. So that's correct here. We're gonna add Anxious People on here, and we're gonna add The Breakdown by B.A. Paris here. We're gonna add Behind Closed Doors to Where Are the Children for books read. And then obviously like these are, I was talking about, I wanted to read these, but they're, you know, quite daunting. So we're just gonna make a separate pile for immediate reads, and that's gonna be for like the bigger books, and then, you know, these are more like manageable, quicker reads. But when I put them up on the collection, if this is like not tall enough, they will get merged with the bigger books on the bottom. We're gonna add a little life to this. We're gonna do want to read, but not immediately. I read The Great Gatsby in high school, so it's kind of similar to Life of Pi, where I'm familiar with the story already, but I still want to like re-pick it up. But like I said, I read it, and I did also watch the movie back in high school, so we're gonna put that in the back. Same thing with Night. Actually, Night is more of an immediate read, even though I've read it like 3 or 4 times already. There's no rhyme and reason. That's just gonna go here. Book Thief. It's kind of gonna stay here with Rehearsals for a Living, where it's like I want to make sure I read it this year, but not within like the next 2 months. I'm okay with that. These were, I just stacked books because I was filming, like I said, I'm filming for the TikTok, so these are some of the books that I stacked. Better Than Movie is a keep, so that will start like this romance, I guess. Midnight Library is a keep. One of Us Is Lying, all of that is a keep. The Last Thing He Told Me, starting my Unhaul, is gonna go there. These two, Fifth Wave is kind of a maybe, but so far that's gonna go on to my Unhaul. I'm actually like, I'm saying this with like full, you know what I'm saying? In the past where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna unhaul these books, there was kind of like that knot in my chest, but no, we're just Unhaul. Little Lovely Things, that's gonna go on Unhaul. These are keep, that's gonna go on Unhaul. That is a keep. Ballad of Tom, Black Tom's a keep. Keep, and then that's my cooking book. So that's what we're kind of looking like right now. I will update you guys when we have more books on the bed. Alright, here's the books, and this is what we're working with so far, and it feels like a lot, but it really feels like I haven't even made a dent. This shit is not for the weak. I'm struggling out here, guys. I apologize. The fan is on low and it's quite not too close to the camera, but I know it's gonna pick it up. Okay, whatever. I turned it off. I'm taking down the children's books section. We got 3 stacks for it, so I thought I'll go through some of the books. Small Steps, Louis Sachar, Babysitter Club, graphic novel. We also own some of the chapter books as well. Literally no space. So we're just gonna put it down right here. I have a good amount of Dark the Kid collection, so that in the beginning of the year, the 4th graders, because I'm an after school counselor, they really loved when I brought in books. But I got switched to 3rd grade now, and I haven't brought in books for like my own personal collection in a minute. This one's my sister's, Ruby Holler, Hannah Montana, Jerry Spinelli. Maniac Miggy was my favorite book as a child. I think up until high school, I would have said it was my favorite book ever. But now I don't know what like my favorite books would be. American Girl, Main Street, made by the same author of The Babysitter Club. There we go, Babysitter Club, Babysitter Club, Babysitter Club. Take all these books, put them down. And then this is what this little back section is looking like when the children's books from the side is out the way. This is what everything else is looking like. And this is what the bed is currently looking like. Honestly, if I clean this up more than once a year, I would just like reorganize by like taking some books down, reconfiguring the piles, and then yeah, I would not need to take down maybe more than 1 or 2 piles in order to fix the rest. But it's been a year. I need to check to ensure like nothing has been happening to these books because they've just been sitting here, wipe things down, make sure there's not a mess underneath between the cracks, all types of stuff. And like I said, I'm in this kind of like mindset of like ready to unhaul books. I'm thinking about like different websites that I want to do in terms of selling the books I'm gonna specifically sell. So whether that's Vinted, Pango Books, eBay, stuff like that. So because I'm in this mindset, I want to utilize the fact that I'm also on break from work to do so. And so that means we have to take everything down. We have to wipe things and we have to put them up, organize them in a way, and hopefully within this next week while I'm on break, make listings and all that sort so we can get rid of some of these books. And it's not even like get rid of some of these books to make space for new ones. I mean, obviously, like I'm gonna come across a book, whatever, but I've been having very good self-restraint of like not picking up books, just recording like books that I'm interested in to look back at a different day, and or just like recording those books so then I can look for them on Libby or get them on my e-reader and such. So it's just more so I don't want it to feel like a task, like not task, like a hassle, or it'd be tedious to look for a book that I need in this collection, because it's not like, you know, I have a bookshelf here. Everything has to just be stacked here, and that's the only space that I can utilize for such things. And it's getting overwhelming when you have so many stuff just like in front of you. A good amount has to go. I do know last year when I did attempt to do an unhaul, which was very unsuccessful, I told myself, oh, at least 10. I'm not really giving myself a number because then I feel like there's pressure to it. But when I have that mindset of like, do I need to physically have this book? Can I just, you know, get on my e-reader right now? XYZ. Do I need to own this book in order to read it? When I have that kind of mindset, I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, cool. And if we ever move, there might be a time to like, I love my children's book. I don't know if all, plus it's a shared collection between me and my 2 sisters. So I don't know if like when we move and such, because books are heavy, if I will like unhaul any of the children's books. But I am more than willing to unhaul my regular, older, young adult, middle age, young adult, whatever. I'm willing to unhaul those books. The children's books are nostalgic and beloved. So I don't want to have to get rid of those books in order to like move my other ones, which I don't have as much attachment to. So I'm not taking down everything. In the past, I've taken down everything, completely wiped it down, put everything back in. My body is killing me. My body hurts. I'm so surprised because since I've been going to the gym within this last month, especially within the last 2 weeks or maybe like a week and a half, I've been exercising like 3 times in a day. So I would do like a 10-20 minute some sort of like exercise routine, and then I'm also going to the gym after work, and then when I get home after I eat, I would at least move around for about 10 minutes. And so I have like 3 pocket times within my day that I'm moving around, you know, purposefully, and you know, getting my steps in and all that other stuff, right? So I'm so surprised after just like a couple up and downs on the ladder carrying the book. I'm so surprised within an hour my body is killing me. Yes, I know that I have like nerve pain and everything, but like damn, couldn't even last an hour. So I'm not taking everything down. What I did and what I'm going to continue to do is the empty areas that I do have from removing the books, I wipe those down. The stacks of books that are just gonna stay there, we're gonna move to the clean areas and then wipe down under those stacks of books and then put them back. And then I'm gonna slowly start putting everything back now. So far, from 1 stack of books plus the arcs, I think it was 11 books. Then I have a duplicate from the Percy Jackson series, and I have a duplicate of the Book Thief, so that makes 13 books. I have a lot of like John Stanford books. I think that total up to 17 books so far for an unhaul. My sister was saying I should have about 50 books I'm unhauling. I'm gonna stick to at least reach a minimum of 20 books, but I do understand what she's saying. Like the kind of like overwhelmness, Tetrisy, toppling over that these books might get to one day. Like just doing 20 books really is not enough. So I'm really in my head with it. I think earlier I had saw some books that were like book twos to things that I like got impulsively from like Dollar Tree or the Free Little Library, or no, from Dollar Tree and like the thrift store. So I was saying like, oh, let me read book one, and you know, it'd be nice to have a physical copy of those book twos. But I think even that, like, if I need to like try to aim for 20 and more, I would get rid of any books that I have that are like book twos to stuff, and then just kind of like keep in mind upset books. I think like on my Fable and stuff like that, any of the books that Unhaul, I will take and transfer them to like a new folder or collection or whatever titled my Unhauls, so I have an area for those books. Obviously, like in my Notion, I'm not gonna get rid of those books from my like long physical library, like inputs of every book that I own, but I think it'll be good and clear on Fable to kind of have that as a collection, so I know all the books that I unhaul, so I'm able to like really revisit the ones that I particularly want to still read. I'm just okay with not owning that book physically anymore. Arcs are gonna go in the Free Little Library. Anything that's like damaged or maybe like written on, annotated or whatever, that's gonna go in the Free Little Library. I think everything else I will try to sell. I have a lot of I don't have too much books by the same author, but I think any books I do have by the same author, in order to just like get rid of all the books at once, I could think like Don Stanford, we will just like put that as like a little bundle or something. Like I said, I'm thinking about Vinted, thinking about Pango Books, eBay. My mom had just mentioned Amazon. So here is some books that I read that I'm not going to get rid of, even if I haven't gave it stellar star ratings, because I'm not gonna lie, I am in the I'm in the massive majority of book owners who own more unread books than read books, unfortunately. So here are some of those. Her Body and Other Parties. I remember really liking this book. I read it like 3 years ago. Winter Cottage, Still Think About This. I gave it like a 4.5 or a 4.75, and it's one of the books I think about after reading like almost 3 years ago. So I think I'm gonna up the rating to a 5-star because I think about it all the time. The Girl Who Lived. This got me back into reading back in like 2021-ish. Really loved it. Dorian Gray and the Ballad of Black Tom. Are You Sarah? These are my reads of 2026 so far. So we have those. Let Us Descend. We Are Inevitable. Royal Holiday. Secrets of a Marine Wife, another 2026 read. The Night She Disappeared. Really liked this. Peter McFadden's The Boyfriend. Thoroughly dropped the book. Did not enjoy that. Behind Closed Doors. Where Are the Children? And Neighbors, which is another 2026 read. Obviously, this is not all the books that I have read. I have 1984, which I read. The Great Gatsby, Night. We have Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Survival Math, Disaster Days. The Similars. We have like half-finished books. Oh, also The Eyes Are Watching God, which I did read, but I lent this to my sister. She's reading it, I think. Maybe, I don't know, she stopped. Half-finished books, The Power, and The Girl on the Train. I've started this book 3 times before. I did a readathon in 2024 with my sister on our shared channel, and that was the 3rd time I read that book, and I told myself this year I was gonna give it one last chance. So it is on my unhaul pile, but it is a maybe. And when I think about like trying to physically own the book to read it, for some reason it's in a weird spot where I feel like if I don't physically have the book, I'm just never gonna read it, and maybe that really is a sign, but I don't know, I just can't get it out of my brain getting rid of the book before I finished it. And it's because a lot of the other stuff that I'm unhauling are books that I haven't read, and this is the only one that I at least started that I'm getting rid of, and I think that's the weird spot in my brain right now. But anyways, we got the Housemaid trilogy. I'm gonna keep. I didn't really like Freida McFadden's The Boyfriend, but I really heard good things about the Housemaid series, so we're gonna keep for now. But if I don't like the first book, I think I just might get rid of the rest of the whole trilogy, and then just also toss in The Boyfriend as well, and then sell that as a little package. But I have surprisingly at least more than like, we have Crown of Thunder, which is I think is a book that's like part of a series that is not book one. Same thing with We Are the Fire, and same thing with Raven Cry. So these are gonna go in the Unhaul pile. I also read The Missing Hours, The Interment, I Remember You. So that's gonna go in my red pile, and that's gonna go all the way in the back of the collection. And certain books that I'm unsure about is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, The Underground Railroad, and then up there, which I didn't bring down, I have Demon Copperhead. And these three books I'm a little iffy about keeping. Not related to what I was just talking about, but Wrath, I think this is an arc that's going. We have Rise of the Snakes, which I believe is part of a series. I think this is also an arc. Book 2, part of a series. It's possibly gone. And then we have another book 2, which is Forager Trilogy Book 2, Infiltrator. Alright. That might be gone. I think I should make good progress. I'm excited. I'm gonna count the number and then tell my sister what it is. But I want to like look at everything and kind of settle first. Some of them I knew, but some of the ones I just like shoved into your faces right now, those are the ones where I just like, I'm like, oh, and there's this and there's this and there's this. Unhaul. But like those I'm gonna like thoroughly look through. But I think we might have hit maybe 30 plus books. 17. How do I saved like 3 books. I don't understand how do I have less books than when I started with.